My name is Mick Rock Wilson, and this is my review of last night's episode of NXT. So last night on NXT, the show kicked off with Sami Zayn going one-on-one with Kurt Hawkins. And it was pretty interesting to see this match again because this was Sami Zayn's first match in his debut on NXT. And with that being said, it kind of feels like, it comes full circle for Sami Zayn to face Kurt Hawkins before he gets a shot at the NXT Championship. And with that being said, I thought last night was an incredible show. That match with Sami Zayn and Kurt Hawkins was a really good, full-blown, two-parted match. And not only did Sami Zayn look incredible in that match, but Kurt Hawkins actually hung in there as well. Kurt Hawkins was actually pretty good in that match. And with that being said, even the announcers made both guys look incredible. And what happened was Sami Zayn got the victory over Kurt Hawkins, and right now he looks incredible going into this possible match for the NXT Championship against Bo Dallas. And when we saw Bo Dallas backstage in that segment, in that interview with Renee Young, this guy is just starting to get on my nerves. I think he's really too believable in his promos. This whole "Don't Stop Believing" is alright, but I think his delivery in his promos and in backstage interviews are just a little too much. He puts a little too much emphasis on being a villain. It just should come naturally. Like his brother, Bray Wyatt, who's on Raw and SmackDown, who's just incredible. And his brother is kind of like the opposite of him. And I think that really Bo Dallas really should work on his microphone skills. I can understand that there's a lot of people that don't like Bo Dallas. There's this hashtag No More Bo, really going on in the Twitter feeds and on Facebook. And I can understand why, a lot of fans don't like Bo Dallas because he's not very good in his promos, and, and his in-ring ability is a little bit better, but again, it's one of those things he should work on. And I kind of, really feel like, how did that title get around his waist? I can understand, the whole thing with him and Biggie Langston, but it just seems recently, week after week, that Bo Dallas is really becoming very annoying, and it's just not working. It's just not cut out for, his character. Also last night we saw Aiden English in a reboot, so to speak, in a match against QT Marshall. QT Marshall is a guy who's was in Ring of Honor, now he's being brought up to NXT, working as the jobber for other superstars, I guess at the moment, because Aiden English last night really broke out on NXT with the musical number before his match and after his match, his encore. I thought, he was actually a pretty good singer, and the fans seem to understand that as well, and he got a pretty good pop, to say the least. And his finisher, absolutely incredible. And I think, with that being said, Aiden English is another standout guy who's going to be brought up to the ranks on NXT, and it's another one of those things where every superstar should feel different, and Aiden English is one of those guys right now that feels like he has this unique character with his singing, coming off as this real Broadway Hollywood actor. And I think, characteristics like that really make the individual unique. And I like that on NXT. And we get to see that every week on the show, where we see these new and upcoming superstars coming up in the ranks and putting on this unique characteristics for them. Such as Tyler Breeze, which I'll get to right now. There was a 8-man tag team match. It was Tyler Breeze, Leo Kruger, and the Ascension versus Xavier Woods, Adrian Neville, Corey Graves, and CJ Parker. And what I like about this match is that we see a couple of storylines going on. There's this thing with CJ Parker and Tyler Breeze, the tag team champions Neville and Graves versus the Ascension, and we got Xavier Woods and Leo Kruger, which closed off last week's NXT show. So I like how this match was booked in that sense, where it has multiple stories throughout this match. And with that being said, I also like the use of Tyler Breeze, because out of these 8 guys, Tyler Breeze is the guy that's going up in the ranks, whereas the other guys are legit NXT superstars, hopes to level up to Raw and SmackDown. So with that being said, I like how Tyler Breeze was used only for a bit, and the way it was done was absolutely amazing, where he comes in, he takes a couple of hits on the opponent, and he just tags himself out, and the fans for some reason actually really liked that. They chanted this was awesome. Even the way it was done was that as well, and I think that the NXT fans know certain aspects in certain matches that really stand out, and that was one of those things that stood out with Tyler Breeze. And with that being said, I like how in the closing moments of that match, the way they used Tyler Breeze again, where every individual on the other team took their shot at Tyler Breeze. First it was CJ Parker, then it was Xavier Woods. Well, I think in that order. But, CJ Parker, Xavier Woods, Corey Graves all took their shots on Tyler Breeze, and Adrian Neville with his high-flying maneuver, pinning Tyler Breeze in that match, actually made Tyler Breeze look pretty good. And I think that the loss really doesn't hurt his momentum, because Tyler Breeze can use this loss to benefit from this match and become this martyr for the NXT roster. And it kind of reminded me of what happened when on Raw 1000, when Damian Sandow got the brunt of the DX schmozzel, so to speak. So with that being said, Tyler Breeze last night looked great on NXT, as well as the other guys as well. I like how Leo Kruger and the Ascension kind of was fed up with Tyler Breeze and just walked away from the match. And you're doing really good when the guys on your team walk away from you. So right now, Tyler Breeze is doing everything right, and I think that the guys that really benefited from this show were Sami Zayn and Kurt Hawkins, Aiden English, and Tyler Breeze. And that was my review of last night's episode of NXT from the Full Sail University in Orlando, Florida. For the MRB Wrestling Review Show, I am Mike McRock Wilson. Get plenty of rest, and always do your best.